To reiterate, this is the Nation Scope number 6, Group F, round 3 game on Product and Gullywash between Belgium and Ukraine, sponsored by Manco Store. So, if you want to take away this first mid-fight, Domaytoe.
Sure, Zero is coming on the demo main class, actually on their side of the cliff, while the blue demo man Wiethoofd rolled out from main. Burst them early on down at the sniper class, so complete 3-point for the Ukrainian team. No sniper, just peeking people out. Edgy though gets the pick onto Igor, but Marosa still being on the field takes down Zero, so definitely opening up a lot of space for the Ukrainians and even more space.
Yeah, medic going down there, so not looking that great right now for Belgium with Oshi going down, but we're going to be getting some space here. Dito looking to try and spam them out. Simmer is staying in here, quite aggressive though, trying to pick off Dito, but probably going to get spammed out for his troubles with no heals, and possibly going to be a quick mid-cap here, straight for Ukraine, but nice snipe onto Dito.
Yet there comes the counter snipe instantly, nicely just equaling out the sniper position. There goes a Chemcat right side behind. There's nothing occupied really on the right side for the Ukrainians. I really like that they played a bit more passive though, because they definitely could, but right now they're just flooding onto this point here, the Belgians.
Yeah, very nice aggression coming in here. The Uber does come out though, onto the pyro and the heavy, but Simmer's going to be jumping up onto the cliff. But the rest of the team is going to be backing out through main, with Z getting a nice stub onto Rambo there, so there's not the energy for putting down any more minis. But Simrise is going to be taking some heals forward here. Big bomb in from Boshi, going to try and distract them behind, and it's going to delay them while Dito gets some nice spam in.
Yeah, Yoshi was scared. He just watched the snap, and hopefully this guy doesn't come in once again, but Boshi is still behind. Saw actually onto Chemcat from the Ukrainian medic. And they're actually still controlling this point here, the Belgians, and they have this 50% Uber advantage, so on the Ukrainians right now to make something work. Marissa with a very interesting position right there, and I do think Boshi is still somewhere in the backline, so did he back out? I did not see, so maybe the Belgians are a bit confused, but Ukraine just waiting for their Uber right now.
Yoshi coming in with the big bomb though, gets 2 rockets onto Yoshi, can he get a third? Cannot get a third on. But Yoshi going to be quite low on health right now with no other people coming into bombs. Dito's going to be trying to spam them out in the meantime. But yeah, like I said before, Yoshi's still on 100% here. Mobiton coming up to 100% very soon, but some nice picks coming out from Ukraine. Aji goes down and Burstling or Spelly going down on Sniper, so a lot of pressure coming out here. They have to see who takes the brunt of these. Watch it again, going for another bomb, gets 2 rockets onto Yoshi, gets the nice force.
He got the dispenser down. If he blocked the dispenser quite well, the damage from his medic, because Yoshi probably would have dropped there, because way better Uber though right now for the Ukrainian team, just flashing really equally, securing the point. 1 minute ahead for the Belgians, but Ukraine does just control this, but Z does something, and Wiethoofd breathes very loudly again. What happened?
It's yeah, basically it's trying to revolve him down, the Yoshi going down, but in the meantime, yeah, we've got Zero going in for a bit of a bomb. Mobiton going down really low, almost goes down to the spam there, does manage to get out, but still, even with no mid, like, you know, Belgium going to be coming in here. Simran's taking a nice headshot, but it does go down to Marissa, so some good shots coming out from him, but managed to get the point off the edge of that, but yeah, really well played by Z to get that initial kill onto Yoshi.
Well, especially without the met, because what do you gain from just staying around without your met, you know, just go forward and actually get the frags and get the positions and get the cap point. Right now though, the Ukrainians do that as well, but they still do have their medic up. Zero does get piped there by a very interesting iron bomber pipe, and there's still a 50% advantage once again for the Ukrainian medic, and they're just going to stay on their cliff. I like that they're playing a bit more passive for Ukrainian standards, I would say as well.
Yeah.
And it's actually almost working out for them. I mean, there's not so much time away for the Belgians, but Marissa goes down, so definitely Belgium in for a shout here.
Yeah, they're kind of clumped up in this pocket though, and there's not many people actually looking over the point, and you know, Smelly gets to snipe onto the sniper, gets to snipe onto the demo following up from that. Simran's probably going to be receiving the brunt of these heals, almost gets Ubered on, 97 on Aoshi, but just managed to use it eventually, but not really many people to actually come in and cap this. It's only really the NG. Pyro's not really be able to get anything else here, apart from like maybe the heavy, but they're still staying in here, Ukraine, and they're going to regress.
Quite bizarrely seen actually that Ukraine walks forward even though they still have the point. They just take the fight to the Belgians, and then the Belgians just completely going to get their Uber soaked up and then get completely cleaned up all around there. Yoshi is still staying in. Brave man, or I don't know if so much brave, because they don't even have the numbers for it. They're just getting their spawns now, getting spammed still, and the heavy is aggressive on the left side but does not get anything done.
Yeah, a bit of preemptive aggression coming out from Ukraine here, possibly overextension a bit as well. Kem trying to get some damage down, but Simra is very far forward to him, won't get extended out by Nakari and Domaytoe as iHarl's mini sentry keeps spamming away. Kem jumps onto the cliff, gets a nice reflect from Underscore into his face, and the Uber does get forced out potentially there. Didn't actually catch that, but gonna be a nice advantage here for Momentum.
And was Boshi just jumping in and Yoshi, I mean, Sacrilege got a really nice reflect and actually saved his medic, but Boshi just having the reputation that he has is jumping in. I would probably use in that scenario as well. You don't even lose that much. They still have to cover the ground into. There comes an early pop.
Oh god.
Just getting Domaytoe launched forward, gets a frag onto the scout only, and Yoshi is safely out, but they're still fighting this against a spy on the front lines, and Belgians actually going to end up still keeping that point.
Yeah, Marissa with a nice point-blank headshot onto the NG there, but Simra's still in here. Yoshi getting bombed again. Boshi almost has his number every time, but yeah, gonna be sitting on 40% right now on the point. Only 10 seconds left right now for Belgium to try and hold this. Domaytoe's the only one really in here. They've only got 5 seconds. No one else is really coming forwards. Z goes down as well. Momentum trying to come in to heal Domaytoe, but unless more people come in, I don't really see them taking this.
Well, first round there goes to the Belgians with Simra's top pointing with 21, and after that is Manic with 20, so strong combo points already. What we saw before, like I think the Ukrainians, I always have to refrain from calling them almost the Russians, so just forget that the Ukrainians, just, you know, with their maybe aggressive strategies before, right now not aggressive, but I feel like only a slight, like 2 fights that slightly did not work out in their favor. Boshi though just jumping all the way behind, initiator to the mid, does get killed by Ramos's mini sentry though.
It's aggression coming in here. Demo goes down, no Domaytoe. It's going to be pretty impactful for their mid here. Nakari gets a nice direct from Kemka and the connector, but the rest of them could probably have to back out here as Ukraine's just getting weaker and weaker. Actually starts to go for a play on the mid, but quick first mid cap for Belgium. Going to be going to, well, we're very shortly just looking to go into that cliff for an aggressive hold, but Boshi again coming in for a bit of a bomb. Might even be starting to feed at this moment in time, because like I think Simrise has his number as well, but 100% for both mids, very sure.
That was a 7th bomb or something in like what, 1.5 minutes, but
insane.
It still does quite raise the question if he has noticed that he's not in jump map anymore, but the official has started. Right now though, they're still kind of poking and prodding right now. Both Ubers are up and the Belgians still do control the point. There's a little nudging though on the point, and there comes the Uber force onto the Ukrainians. Burst limit does die, and they lost a lot of players there on the Belgian side. They still do have this Uber, but let's see what they can make out of this with a number disadvantage.
Yeah, Pyro goes in, not really getting much out of this though. I mean, Sakura does quite a bit of damage there with his flames, but I mean, ultimately they have held the point, but you know, Ukraine's going to regress here. Boshi going for another bomb. Nakari gets picked off. Oh wait, no, Nakari's sorry, still capping this. Gets a nice arrow, and going to cap that out in the end. So Momentum actually on about 40% advantage here as they're trying to look in to go on cliff.
They're just prowling and prodding just forward all the time, the Ukrainians, and just playing it nice and conservative. And right now it's actually going in their favor, but there we go. Marissa actually does go down and gets stepped by Edgy there on the crates as he was peeking forward a bit. Sticky traps are on the cliff and a bit on the point on the left side. And I feel like burst limit is also dying a lot, so definitely a sniper advantage for the Ukrainians. But they have to stop this aggression here just from the Belgians walking forward, still having this advantage onto the Russian team. They lose a lot of players though.
Yeah, med goes down. Simrise is walking in there, getting arrow by his med, and also Zero with some nice pipes and some nice sticks to span them out. Momentum going down importantly, but I didn't actually cast that. It actually goes down in the background. Not sure actually what caused that, but it's going to be even Ubers coming into this, but ultimately the time is in favour of Belgium.
If you're just aggressively walking forward, there are like so many things that can kill a medic. Or obviously he's changing to the KritzKast, so actually definitely just sacrificing his life here for the KritzKast strategies. Obviously Nakari does go down, Marissa as well, just edgy. The Belgian pick class is cleaning up the ranks on the Ukrainians right now. They can walk aggressive here, they still do have this number advantage and can deny Ukrainians early in their tracks. Ihor though does come in with a shotgun, kills Zero, so from hero to zero and from some HP to 0 HP basically in just a nick of time. Sinras is getting chased here by Nakari on the cliff area, maybe a bit overzealous against the Pyro and gets backburnered from below.
Yeah, Nakari probably getting annoyed with the amount of Simrise spam coming onto him on the heavy class, but Ajay in the backline is doing a pretty good job right now, just taking down Marissa repeatedly. But I say that, Marissa taking out Spelly on Sniper, but at the moment they do have the points, 100% for both teams. KritzKast in behind as well. They get spammed out by everybody, loves me. Zero comes in with the crits. Can he find anything here? They're going to be sitting in pocket. Adley gets some stabs, but I mean, Boshi comes in for the counter jump. Someone's going to be trying to deny that. Big damage, and all the damage comes in collectively from Wiethoofd and Boshi, and it's a nice spam there, but they'll be holding on to the point.
What does more damage? Demo Man with crits, well, directly onto the medic, just dropping him, but after that Boshi probably getting an equal amount of kills just by himself alone.
Yeah.
Just his splash damage class is doing so much. Right now the point is still contested though, not up for the grabs for the Belgians just yet, as Wiethoofd just spawned. The mini sentry is still denying an awful lot from the main area, and the medic still being on for the Ukrainians up as well. Marissa is just peeking from China right now, and they're slowly eking this cap forward. Sacrilege though going to pay for his sacrilege basically, and is dying there. Edgy as well, getting cleaned up there on the side flank by Boshi. And there's so many things just going in forward. Yoshi is so weak as well.
Yeah, like you can see with the way Belgium playing, they're not peeking at the same time. All the Ukrainians were just like looking over the point at the exact same time. You know, you got the Kari on there, you got everybody just sort of on the right side spamming with the Tommy Slab, and also Wiethoofd as well. But loads of picks coming in as well. Yoshi going down, Simrai's going down, and the point ultimately still remaining in Ukraine's hands with Mobiton on 90%. Zero comes in for a bit of a bomb. Mobiton going down quite low. He gets sticked again. No one can kill him. And he goes down to the final pipe. So big play from Zero there.
He denies any heals that are in the game probably. The dispenser and the medic. So both players, well, both healing machines basically down. He was completely uncontested there, poor medic. Wiethoofd does jump into a pyro, not really the perfect predisposition you want to put yourself in when jumping in against the only class that can reflect. So they still do have this 40 seconds advantage there, only have a 20-second disad on the Ukrainian side, so it is definitely on their turn right now again to make something work, probably with a suicide wave as we've seen all day. There we go, Boshi getting denied though.
Oh, Simrai's not managing to catch Boshi as he comes in though. Almost gets another rocket off onto Yoshi, but yeah, some nice snipe onto onto Wiethoofd, sorry there. So he denied that Devon from walking in. Spally's still quite aggressive. Z could be trying to unclose, try and get the sniper frag. Does find it, so no sniper for them right now. But Yoshi coming up to 100%. Don't know whether this is still crits. I imagine it's still
both Uber.
Oh no, they're on Uber now, so it's probably gonna be an Uber exchange very shortly on this point.
They're right now getting a lot of spam though onto the Belgians. Really weak people. Ramos are dying their early advantage pick. Wiethoofd though gets snapped by Edgy, just equaling that one out. Everybody loves me. Gets the kill onto Edgy, this close range. Their complete Uber exchanges right now onto the point. A bit better for the Ukrainians. Have their scout chase. They're still behind. The spy coming in. He's missing the stabs onto Yoshi, but they're still going.
Oh my god.
Have someone win apparently after the pause fades, maybe.
This is the worst time for pausing if anyone is in the STV, because you've got two Tomislavs going, you got a pyro shooting the spy. Obviously someone must have lagged out here, but yeah, it's gonna be a close call here. I mean, what's your prediction in this current situation? Like, what's your kind of predictions as to what's gonna happen here?
There's a lot going on. So, let's see. So, the blue heavy will kill the red heavy, I do think. If Sunrise doesn't turn like 180 and just completely like 200, you know, does 200 damage just instantly, Z won't do anything because everybody there is quite full health. He will maybe get one shot onto Yoshi, and that could allow actually the blue heavy to get the frag after he gets Sunrise down. So I actually do think the position from everybody loves me, or just everybody, the Ukrainian heavy, definitely mattering in right now. So the spy will definitely die. Probably get one shot in, and then we have to watch the Ukrainians are a bit passive on their like main. So if the heavy here gets a lot of people down, that's probably going to lead to the Ukraine winning this round.
Yeah, I mean, you got sort of God mode ready to come in on scout, and also Zero like still overhealed on this right side near main. But you got an arrow actually incoming from Mobiton onto Everybody Loves Me. So just sitting on the point, so probably gonna get healed up. I've actually just realised the cap is almost fully capped at the bottom, so they've only got to hold this for another 20 seconds. However, just realise that when they do cap this, anyone who dies after that cap will have a longer respawn. So
exactly, that's why the heavy needs to kill everybody. You know, before
no pressure.
Well, his name is literally Everybody. Anyway, so the spy actually causing the distraction is nice as well, but the problem in this current state is, you know how a heavy is close range probably. I mean, they still do have the scout up, but scout like 70 HP, like what's that against a heavy, like instantly dead, if he knows where he comes from.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got like Spelly on China as well. Marissa's only recently gone down. and so is their Pyro. So with these kind of situations of both teams being dry without Uber, it's definitely just going to be a case of. I mean, honestly, I think Ukraine should probably just play behind the point with their heals. I mean, they've got. Wait, where is Dito actually? Yeah, Dito's just spawned, so it's probably going to be jumping in or taking the telly. You're going to be jumping in from Cliff, and they just need to play behind the point really, and just kill anyone who's trying to recap this point after the heavy caps it. But hopefully this pause will be over very soon.
let's quit the guesswork. Let's get to the analytical work. Why do you think that Ukraine is actually looking better on this round than compared to the previous round?
Yeah, it's definitely a closer round. I think Bosch has kind of started to play less bomb straight into the pocket. He's kind of decided to go flank a bit more. I mean, right now you can see he's actually on concrete, contesting the opposing soldier. So I think there's that, and then also the fact that I think if they start like cutting down on that work that Ajay's doing, like I mean Ajay's dead right now, so they must have caught him out. I think if they cut down on the spy getting their sniper over and over again, I think they'll kind of come out of this a bit better. But everybody will be actually not receiving that arrow. Just get it just eventually, but they cap it out. He's gonna try and get away. Sat goes in though with his back burner to try and cap this out as well. But loads of people for Belgium on the point. It's just that NG trying to contest this, and Boshi comes in with a big jump. Not going to find any much more damage though, and Belgium will be taking that round in a bit of a weird after pause round there.
Well, I can tell you why, because a Pyro actually mattered there, and Sacrilege getting the important frags. How can you predict a Pyro actually doing things, you know? That is completely not within the matrix of things that are possible to happen. Anyway, so the third round actually coming out, so Belgians leading 2-0 onto this product map. Quite close though, so the Ukrainians still in for a shout, and they need to be, because they need to claim precious points here right now. As Chemcat is the first one to go down, Marissa just opening up the just flank area basically for the initiator for the Belgians down, so actually playing a bit more passive than before.
Ooh, Ajay almost gets to stab onto the heavy there, but not going to find it. But both teams surprisingly kind of passive, just waiting for each other to kind of make a mistake possibly. But there we go. Spelly finding the best of Marissa in the sniper v sniper, gets a bauble to the face from the scout. But Belgium is starting to walk forward onto the point here. Simrar is trying to initiate his teams to try and walk forwards here. Crits though on the side of Dito, and it drops the medic. Oshi going down, and so is the demo and Zero. Boshi comes in with the follow-up damage, and wow, this is a great push coming out from Ukraine.
See, that's why we didn't mention it, because we definitely saw that crits coming out, but we just wanted it to be way more surprising for everyone who just like dropped the medic, you know. That is how Ayoshi probably must have felt. There comes a late body shot though onto Sacrilege going down from Marissa. They still lost some players. There comes a jump though from Chemcat just completely onto the medic. He gets the rock, he's in! Whoa, just way too long he was in, but Edgy actually getting the stab onto Wiethoofd in that disarray of actions.
Yeah, some nice spawn there. I mean, it took them a bit of a while to try and deny the soldier there from Chem, but Gaze coming with some more stabs. 2 down right now for Ukraine, and they've got the longer respawn as well. Stimro is trying to stand on this to try and cap it out. Probably needs to just push in with the rest of his team. Zero getting sniped out. Marissa doing a lot of work here, trying to get these headshots flinging out across the map, but trying to edge this cap point. Still facing the spam from Nakari, from Wiethoofd, and yeah, Mobiton actually almost on 100% here, so almost 100% ad for Ukraine.
Ayoshi just died to the spy after the flank got picked off, so they have full advantage now, and the Belgians still do not have the point. There comes Sinrise though with a Fist of Steel just capping it out, and Nakari actually going down to burst limit from the right side, who was just peeking from rock, and they are still controlling this. Like, they have to walk forward here, they still have this crits ad, so what's gonna happen? They'll probably just give them time to reset their positions.
Yeah, I think they were waiting on Dito there before they could try and contest it, because, I mean, they still had that 100% but didn't want to use it yet. Ayoshi and Sacrilege kind of waiting for this to come in, like, very far back right now, but the important thing is they're not getting any point time with this, as the mini from Iho is just sort of built on connects, trying to spam out the heavy on Cliff. Z goes for the stab on the heavy, Simrai is going down, Captain's coming out, but Nakari going down as well. Zero doing a good job of spamming them out as much as he possibly can, but there we go, eventually comes in, and they still got 100%, but they need to use before the Uber comes out, as Ayoshi's trying to come to 100%.
Well, they don't need to use. They were so scared, the Belgians, like, oh no, they have crits, what am I gonna do? Well, they just give up the point for absolutely nothing, you know. Nicely played by the Ukrainians, and they just have to watch out that they don't get like completely trapped off by this. Oh no! There comes the sticky onto Ayoshi, +2 the sizzling, and Yuga out, my friend, once again. We have to see the counter-aggression, though the Pyro just walking forward, actually getting the demo down. Wiethoofd completely not happy probably with this play stance, and the Belgians securing the cap point just on the back of that one.
See, the problem with crits sometimes is, yeah, you can, like, you know, get their mid, but if the rest of the team comes in, ultimately, you know, you're not making people invincible, the damage can still come in onto your team, and then you got a, you know, a Pyro holding the ultimate W key into the rest of your team, and, you know, Simrai's helping out as well with the scout chasing down the kills, and ultimately, yeah, they're going to be losing out that ground, and, I are actually on a 10 kill streak, I just saw that was interesting, but going to be capping it out eventually with Mobiton on a 50% ad. Let's see if they switch anything up here to try and counter Ukraine's crits.
Immediate recap though from the Ukrainians, because Belgians were not like happy to just feeling comfortable to stay in. Burst limit was on a 10k there in the midst of that, but getting a bit too overzealous, going on their side of the cliff and just getting dying there. There comes a jump though from Zero forward. Shemcat getting denied as well, Zero dying, and they're getting some frags. They're completely fighting the suicide wave off.
They're trying to, yeah, they were trying to go for the medic there, I think, to try and get some sort of like a crits force, but like, personally I probably wouldn't have tried to do that. I would have just like baited them to use crits onto the point and then like bombed in afterwards, like rather than just try and feed in first, but gonna be trying to tie down this time Ukraine with the heavy in the pocket, sort of on top of the cliff looking out for him. But Simra's trying to walk in here. He's trying to contest them. Chris comes out, isn't gonna find anything.
He detonated it 1 millisecond too early. Like it was above Yoshi's head. It was literally on him, but just the explosive radius was not enough. So there was a kind of wasted crits, but they can still fight this. They still have their players forward. Come on, don't give this cap up for free.
Yeah, need to contest these people in pocket though, like they're still just sitting around here getting these heals. I mean, there you go, you got the Uber coming onto God mode on Scout. He needs to try and pick off the med here. If they don't get the med, this is going to be a bit awkward, but God mode trying to go trying to go for the rap assassin kill, doesn't manage to find it. This is why sometimes it's not the best thing, but he needed to hit those shots.
Well, any other scout would have also like went Boston Bash or something, you know, like, I don't know why they scout do this, like they have like meat shots constantly and then they just decide to not load and just chase with a melee weapon because it sometimes looks funny. So the medic actually surviving that one, but they still need to get forward here. They have 20% like crits advantage basically. Wiethoofd going down though from a lot of, oh no, the medic as well, just from the re-aggression once again onto their main side.
Yeah, they're getting so distracted by AJ, like he's doing so much for Belgium right now, just in the back lines and trying to get these stabs out. I've got an interesting telly actually from Myhor, going to this concrete side, sort of serve as a bit of a flank help there, but point is currently on Belgium's side. Gonna hold it for a minute though. I mean, if you can like recap this at all, this is probably going to be their round, but we've got Domaytoe sort of slowly working his way in, but Aoshi on 100%.
They have two dry pushes right now, the Ukrainians, and just shouldn't lose their medic. There comes the Uber once again on a really fast classes, straight onto the medic, straight onto the scout and onto the demo. They're completely kiting this though onto their grass area, and they do lose some picks, not so many vitals picks though, as their medic is still up onto 50%. So that was the first dry push, and right now they're still having this Nakari just eking this cap a little bit out, getting some cheeky cap time, and so it's basically in dire straits right now because they do have this advantage, but they need to push across the point and push into a sniper sideline.
Yeah, Ukraine needs to kind of like be very fast. This Boshi goes for a bit of a distraction bomb there as Domaytoe tries to make his way across the point. He gets some cap time out now, trying to face this dry. Sat goes down. Zero trying to spam them out as well, but I mean, I think that's going to be around for Ukraine after they try and cap this, but maybe I spoke too soon? No, okay, there we go. So, imagine to get that out in the end. I feel like Ukraine need to take advantage of their picks more when they realise that Belgium have like slower respawns. Like, they're just sitting back quite a lot of the time.
They have to play full Davai again because you saw there, like, not scared of any sniper watching any sideline, just straight up 2 stickies from Domaytoe onto the sniper, killing him, instantly recapping, and then just using the Uber to defend this. And they need this because they need the points. They need at least 2 points here on this product map to actually get some points for their scoreline and to get into the playoffs as the second seed. Right now they're walking aggressively once again onto the crit screen, but Nakari goes down.
Yeah, Zero very far forwards on the point here. Gonna be spamming out the heavy. Domaytoe gonna be trying to counter spam with the help of his combo, but they're getting spammed out quite heavily here. I mean, Medic's having to run away, Mobiton running away on 70%. Got some nice picks coming out from God mode as well. Still in behind here, not going down. Actually kind of extending, but with the rest of Ukraine going down, it's not really that big of a problem.
Boshi jumping a pyro and claiming engineer pick after that. I mean, it did look pretty, but I still have to question, maybe he needs to sync up these bombs a little bit more. Like, he's doing the distraction work. He's basically doing for Ukraine what Edgy is doing for the Belgians. There comes the crits though. The crits completely on the left side, completely getting denied though from Sacred, just reading that really early, using the Uber just to make sure nobody dies and is securely out. But right now, they can use this downtime. Walk forward. You see once again this jump from Boshi, completely probably distracting them behind.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming to the point right now, but I mean, even still, Belgium getting the majority of the picks here is like the Ukraine team just isn't coordinated coming in here. They're actually taking some damage from Boshi, but Boshi getting sniped out by Burslam or Spelly, but yeah, the rest of the Ukraine team gonna have to be trying to regroup here, as Ayoshi still kind of on, well, possibly going to be on similar percent with the Ukrainian crits as it goes to 100%.
Well, that's the issue. You're just getting kept at bay because Belgians are quite well organized right now into this defensive play stance. But I feel like this was definitely once again a gamble, but this is what you have to do at this point of the stage. You're just playing aggressive onto crit screen. Boshi is still in behind once again. I mean, he's more on their side of the map than his own side anyway. He's still onto them. Like, they're distracting them so much. Easy cap for everyone onto the front flank for the Ukrainians.
Yeah, like, he makes so much space, like, it takes like 7 people to just look behind him. I don't know why there's that many people even looking behind, not trying to defend the point, but both teams on 100% now, as she's trying to look to go in here with 0. Shouldn't hopefully drop here, does he use, he'll try and get out the mid. However, it's going into a crit, this is going to be an absolute obliteration for Belgium onto the side of Ukraine, so yeah, that is why sometimes you need to sort of call if they're coming in there, because they were sitting on pocket and they couldn't see.
Yeah. It's quite funny actually, because you have 9 players in this game mode and someone would apparently see at some point, but in that scenario nobody saw anything because they had 4 players just peeking timidly in this pocket area and being scared of anyone and everyone just coming in. Z's still behind from the China, he's just calling it right now. Burstlimit is on lower right getting buff from a Yoshi, so very strong defensive position. Godmode does die though, and Burstlimit as well. They can just reflat onto this point without any Uber in play. Yoshi is still caught out here on the dispenser. Oh no. He's just completely going in Nakari, clawing that one back, getting a lot of frags and having their medic survive.
I think they found a formula, like Boshi jumping in, having 3 of the flank from Belgium look at him as he tries to just bomb the health pack, and you know, you got the heavy walking in, demo walking in for Ukraine, and ends up just capping the point in the end, but got a nice ad, full mob on once again. So if it's going to be crits, no, he's on Medigun now, so probably going to be an Uber exchange possibly, or just a straight up fight into the combo as Belgium's trying to re-aggress it.
And just trusting your pick classes literally means for you instant recall without losing anything. Boshi is in though. They have to watch the skies, my man, and they're still in. KritzKast getting underscore down there, and they're actually going to secure this point, but you know what that means? Long respawn waves, and they're still hungry here, the Ukrainians. Nakari is still fighting that with the help of the mini sentry, and they still have the slight add here onto Moviton, onto the Ukrainian medic, and they're just instantly probably going to recap this point.
Yeah, we got played by Ukraine to actually sort of fight that, since they knew the aggression was going to be coming in as a counter, but oh, nice snipe from Spelly onto Domaytoe, with 0 actually dominating the opposing demo there, with meds coming up to about even percents. But we've got everybody we're sort of sitting very aggressive here, going to be trying to take on the flank. Does manage to take out the scout, will he take out Kem? Almost takes out Kem. Does actually take out Kem, so pretty well played by the Ukrainian heavy there, but the rest of the team is going to be trying to aggress onto the point here, and trying to look for this re-aggression to be coming in very soon from Ukraine.
That's the flank down! Ukraine, do something! Watch, just completely help your Devilman a bit, you know? Like, they're just walking onto this point once again, they're actually losing some picks now. You can make them bleed! Boshi is just
again.
In! Boshi is just completely in. Double rocket, I think, synced one into Sinrise, and just immediate recap, like, what a funny game. Like, honestly, like, what is it, just recap city?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting play. Like, Boshi's just making the space really for Ukraine as Domaytoe comes in with the damage. I mean, there was some nice damage coming out there from 0 onto Ukraine as they were just sort of sitting in the pocket area. But even still, like, if they're going to be on the point, it's obviously a lot easier to shoot people on the point when they're not on it. But I mean, Uber's possibly coming in. Simrise looking to go forwards here. 0 looking to go forwards. It's still sitting in pocket. The Uber comes out earlier onto Ayoshi and 0, but got some picks coming out. Burstlimit going down. I'm just going to try to rush out into Yoshi here as he tries to back up through main, and they're 3 down right now. 4 down make that for Belgium. It's so many picks.
So many carry work from Z there. Just there comes the counter jump though from 0 onto the cliff. He's still lurking behind a scout and a pyro though. He's not going to have so much fun. A heavy on him as well. So probably going to allow the Belgians some space on the front flank. No, Yoshi peeking aggressive. They are getting headshot.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that positioning was. Like, maybe just some like interesting communication calls. Like, I mean, the bomb coming in. Marissa's still not going down. They're going to be living in this pocket area. They're just feeding onto the point. Belgium. It just isn't as coordinated, but they need to block it, I guess. So 0 comes in with the big bombs. Nice stab comes out from Ajay actually, but just have to sort of cloak away. But I think that will be the 2-2 equalizer from Ukraine. We have a product game here.
Yeah, Ukraine is definitely in once again, just comeback time. Ayoshi also getting headshot there in the back once again, just in the last few seconds to get the psychological warfare going by Marissa. And I mean, points-wise, they could lose this now and still have a shout if they win Gullywash, but if Ukraine win this map right now, it's putting them in such a good and just lead position for this. Boshi once again just in disguise. The edge going down in the like front, but he's causing so much distraction.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate because Ukraine didn't really take that opportunity as much as they couldn't do. Simrise and Zero is walking forwards really aggressively again. Nakara getting focused, Dito going down. Everybody loves me just sort of sitting on this cliff still. Chemcal coming in with the big bomb, trying to do what Bosch has been doing. Is successful with it and does take out the mid of Moviton. So going to be looking at 85% before Yoshi's going up to full as they get the point. Boshi again coming in the big bomb, trying to get a demo there. Zero go down really low, but unfortunately not finding that.
At Viaduct Middle, I think, but I don't think there's a like Viaduct Middle jump map. I'm not so sure about that one. That's why I need to play up
I'm sure it's in somewhere, in some server randomly.
I mean, there is Spy versus Spy like the M fight, so there's probably something for everyone. Marissa does get stabbed though, Z equalizing the situation with Sunrise being down. I feel like the Ukrainians now opting for the Uber percentage themselves, probably have a bit better fight here. But Zero is completely chasing the medic as their Uber got forced by Boshi on their side of the map, but they do get their medic safely out on a sliver of HP. But Boshi is just in like, do we even need to call that anymore?
He's basically doing what like Newbie does, but I don't know whether they aren't like I don't know, they're just not being prepared for his jumps onto cliff. He literally lives on cliff and just goes to the mid constantly, so you think that by now, in this 5th round, they would have caught on to what he's been doing, but I mean, you've got some flank players right now behind for Belgium, but Moviton coming to 100%, so there should be recap very shortly here, as there's a lot of pressure coming from Ukraine.
He lives on a cliff. Is he an explosive lemming? Because he kind of plays suicidal as well, but he does take people with him. Right now, though, there comes a counter jump flank from Chem. Doesn't die, but gets a lot of damage, actually forcing the Ukrainians because Wiethoofd went really low. The medic not taking so much damage, but completely protecting his demo. Not the worst thing in the world, only a 30% disadvantage. And there are so many like factors mattering in this just King of the Hill map, you know? Like this Uber disadvantage doesn't mean that much per se.
Yeah, maybe not, but I mean, still pressure comes out onto the point. It's just a matter of cohesion, and Belgium going to be trying to do that right now. No one's shooting the Kari though. Going to be just sort of sitting on this rock, doing a lot of damage to the combo players of Belgium, and Ayoshi just going to be sort of sitting behind. Still needing to recap this point, still in the favour of Ukraine, but everybody loves me just sort of spamming them from the cliff, and the sort of plays coming from Ajay though. Ajay with the double stab there, really well played by the Belgian Spy.
Yeah, they played a bit too passive, gave up a few bit too much cap time, but then the Ukraine actually got the frags onto the Belgians, but then Edgy just coming in and completely putting a pin into the plans of Ukraine just defending this point. Right now though, they're once again reflooding onto this point. Wiethoofd is going to take the leech onto the right side, gets the force of the medic is just juggled into the skybox, and probably not going to be the most effective Uber of all things.
Zero. Tries to bomb in, goes for cliff, not going to find anything there though. The mini and the pyro are going to be denying him from anything there, but Moviton will come up to 100% very shortly, and Belgium only have to hold this for another minute. A lot of Ukrainian players pressuring on this cliff side though, just trying to walk in here, and there's only one down for Belgium right now, so possibly going to be trying to get the force out onto the medic and see if Ukraine can claw this back.
Maybe they, okay, I want to say maybe they kept without using, but there comes the good aggression there, just completely sandwiching Yoshi. They have to watch out now though. Belgians still have a lot of players up. There comes a big jump from Zero onto the point on the right side. He's playing with the Pyro, or maybe the Pyro is playing with him as he just goes down. Edgy as well. There comes a big jump from Cam just behind. He's still onto main. There's so many people just flooding in forward and actually going to get cleaned up. So they're actually like allowing this cap time once again to go down because so much distraction onto the Ukrainian team.
Yeah, shout out to the Belgian flank there. Like, they're putting in so much pressure now. It's like Chem and God Mode just took some steroids. It's going absolutely huge right now. I mean, look at God Mode. He's so aggressive. Just doesn't care. Gets some nice shots onto Dito. Manages to take out Marissa as well. Zero taking a lot of spam for his troubles to Nakari, trying to reflect what the Belgian scout was doing in return. But 4 for Belgium right now, just getting in these spawns. But a lot of time capped for Belgium right now, so a lot of pressure on Ukraine.
So hungrily fighting just against each other, completely clashing with their spam classes all the time. Yoshi was lucky and happy to survive there on the cliff, having exactly equal percentages as I spoke. It was like 75 on both teams. Edgy does get piped, so no hero plays coming in from him. And the Ukrainians need to hold this point now for 1.5 minutes. Is basically they can give it up maybe one time, only for a slight bit, not cause overtime. Actually need to win at least one Uber fight right now though, and don't let like Zero just walk in alone again.
Oh no, he gets dropped from this potential Uber in a second. That's going to be huge. Like, no demo. It'll be a lot less spam for Belgium, but you know, Ukraine's still holding this point as well. So it's on Belgium right now to actually try and do something here. Let's try and cap this out. A lot of spam coming in. Domaytoe's going to be spamming them from this main side. Needs to get this heals though, and the flank players are going down for Belgium.
Yeah, like the flank going down for the Belgians is definitely their key to walk forward. Like we saw before, they put on so much pressure. Ukraine, do something when they are down. They're walking in forward right now. The combo here on the left side getting spammed a lot.
Oh my god.
Heavy is just completely cleaning up together with Domaytoe. Just the shared spam and damage from these two, killing the Belgian combo. And there comes a Uber against an Uber.
This is an interesting Uber. Like, they're going in with no demo and no heavy, so they're going to try and get people off the point. I mean, I don't know whether they're trying to go for the Captain here, but, you know, Uber's still decent for Domaytoe here. Ukraine, still a lot of people up, 4 down right now. No flank and no sniper, importantly, for Belgium. Simran's going to be trying to walk onto the point here, but, you know, got a decent mini here from Ihor. He's going to wrangle across some concrete with Domaytoe coming in with some spam as well. And Nakara's trying to get aggressive. Everybody loves me to throw up in now. Ukraine needs to help this heavy. Goes down for his troubles. A bit of a scrap fight on the point. 0 seconds for Belgium right now. So if Belgium do manage to recap this, it's going to be a lot of pressure.
Oh, Yoshi ate a pipe as well, man. That was so clutch. But they're losing their players once again, and they have really slow respawn times. So, and they have no Uber. There comes a big jump from Cam onto their clip. The Pyro getting juggled into him though, but there's so much distraction just in the back area. Brody just going to help the Belgians flood onto this point, completely unquestioned. It is a very close though, 3-2 and well fought win for the Belgians. Not though, which is the important part, not completely knocking the Ukraine out of the potential second seed, because they actually do get 1 point, I think, is the new policy goes off that. So if they win Gullywash, they're still going to win against the head-to-head when it gets like onto the equal points, onto the scoreboard, onto the tables.
Yeah, so it's going to be, well, yeah, Ukraine is still in this, so they can still potentially do something here. But, yeah, I'm going to have to take that Gullywash map. But a lot of pressure coming in from Belgium there. Really well played by them in the end to take that map. I think the one problem Ukraine had towards the end there was the fact that they just didn't really aggress at the same time, and they didn't walk across the point. Like, they had the damage, but ultimately you can get the damage as much as you want, but if you're just going to let Aoshi heal everyone up and then come back in, it's going to regret your decisions greatly. And I think we can sort of possibly have a look at the logs, maybe?
With we, I hope you mean you, not me.
Oh yeah, the big log analysis. This is where we need like some analyst person to come in, but I'm always a fan of the logs.
Well, it doesn't matter so much what happens in the game. I'm just going to look into my crystal ball and say pick classes are on top, and from now on it's your turn.
Big. Gotta like load them up quickly though. But I mean, what do you think Ukraine have actually got to sort of change up here for this Gullywash? If you think they've got to try and, you know, is there anyone in particular that needs to step it up, or?
I don't think there are so many people that per se need to step it up. Also considering that this should not maybe be your mindset, just like singling out players or something like that. Just their team effort, I feel like, is getting a bit too passive at times, because what you mentioned, the Belgian flank is doing in so much incredible work, like on product, just getting completely this space and everything. And then when they are down, like Ukraine are not actually just reaching the limits and just pushing it to the edge of what they could do. But in the end, like it was so close. I feel like they played well. But at some point, the Belgian team was just better at kind of keeping at bay and not losing too many players. Ayoshi, I feel like, died a lot, like not a lot, but I feel like they probably died equal amount of times, but the overall Belgians just playing a bit better around their respawn times.
Yeah, I think the problem as well was the fact that they were kind of relying on Bosch a bit too much. Because I mean, he died like 38 times, but you know, a lot of those deaths were worth it for the amount of space he made. But like I was saying before about the fact that they don't really go in after they get the damage done. I mean, if Domaytoe needs to go forward in the car, like a lot of times I saw Nakari actually on the point next to their kind of wooden billboard thing next to the rock, and like no one else is coming in to try and help him. So I don't know whether there's like some communication issue there, a bit of cohesion misappropriation, but probably needs to kind of be worked on, especially if it goes for Gully, because I mean, when you're pushing Gully last, that's definitely going to be a big decider. But yeah, both teams sort of having their snipers at the top there, with the flank players from Belgium actually doing quite a lot of work as well, like Ajay in God mode. So looking to see them sort of carry that momentum forward really into this Gully, and the pressure is now on Ukraine.
I need to retry because apparently the server died a bit for me. So what you said before, the King of the Hill map product and like Gullywash does play very different, though I didn't see so much if they were like lacking in the EM fights, because I feel like there were not so many flanks just constantly clashing against each other, because at least the Solly's not, because when you're just jumping through the air, you know, not usually encountering the enemy soldier, but on Gullywash you're a bit more forced to actually go head to head against the enemy flank and probably going to help the one that has better DM.
Yeah, and also the better Ubers, I feel, because Gullywash is one of those maps where, well, I mean, typically I usually call Gullywash back cap central, just because the last point's cap time is kind of stupid, especially if you've got like spies and scouts that just not sneak behind, or even a soldier that's just able to juggle people up into the air or something from water. But yeah, that and the fact that I think Ubers can be very decisive on this map if you manage to catch people out. Like if they're not aware, if they've got Uber advantage and they're holding close and choke, you can get like, you know, quite a lot of wipes going there. Or if they take Ubers just straight into last from like river and catch people out when they're still in lobby, a lot of positioning issues can be occurring with the combos from each of these teams. But I mean, what's your predictions from this map? Sort of just seeing what happened in that product game so far.
Seeing is a good keyword. Oh, finally I'm connecting. Goodness gracious, someone died for me. What I saw there once again was, I mean, what we mentioned. I feel like, honestly, like flanks and combos clashing against each other were very equal. I don't think there are so many dents. It's more like the cohesion of actual players walking forward, because Ukrainians, as I was saying, they have a bit more of the edge when they actually do walk forward. They did not walk forward that much, or at least what we maybe expected of them. And I can tie this again in a bit maybe from pre-matches, because when we played them on Steel, they were also not playing the kind of very aggressive way that you might have predicted them. And fair play to them, but if it's sometimes not working out all that good, maybe you need to switch up your things and assume your true nature once again. But once again, we will see. Because 5CP, you said it is backcap city. I like it because it's usually spice backcapping, but if you cheese rounds, that helps you. But in general, you should have very clear rotations on your combo and flank.
Yeah, it's about being clear where you want to go, really. But I mean, one thing I noticed from the product game, to sort of bring that up, and hopefully it's not like, wait, I don't know, I think Ukraine could possibly improve upon it, is the fact that Belgium had like most of their Ubers occur on the point into Ukraine, and Ukraine had most of their Ubers occur sort of just in front of their house as they were being pushed into. So I think they need to reverse that pressure and make sure that Belgium actually starts, you know, actually feeling the pain of some of the DM that you know, like Nakari and Dito can put out, and coordinated with like the big bombs that Boschi's been coming in with. I think that can go pretty well for them, especially on like second point and like going for forces on last and that sort of thing.
Although what these Uber fights basically came down to was the Ukrainians just blindsiding themselves, you know, willingly. Because I don't know if there's a comparable location here on Gullywash compared to like Pocket on Product, but they literally just walk to their cliff and let everybody like watch and look into the wall, kind of guinea pig mentality, because what we can't see us as well, but it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So they just have to watch a bit more forward and actually don't get caught out too close with like crits as well, because they tried crits. I think Yoshi tried crits once. I didn't 100% have the checks on that, but both rolling out onto the Uber once again. So the first mid fight of Gullywash is yours.
Yes, again, this is the Nations Cup Highlander number 6 with Ukraine versus Belgium on Gullywash, sponsored by Manco.store. We start off with this first mid. Got a very aggressive sort of mid coming out from Belgium. Zero walking across to this right side. But both teams sort of kind of passive. 3 going down, 4 going down for Ukraine right now. Just instant aggression coming out from Belgium with Chemcat with the final bomb, and the car is trying to distract in the behind. But yeah, almost a wipe right there. Domain, I don't know what happened.
Well, Boschi was just in. That's all you need to know. He was in,
right.
But then he was instantly into respawn, you know, and then completely dead. Then Edgy came in, killed the medic, and from that on, everything crumbled. They literally assumed their choke instantly, the Ukrainians, the choke from the Belgians, but the Belgians just stood a bit more on the big door side and then just completely spammed out the team that had no heals from that point on. So basically, Edgy getting the big step down to the medic and Boschi dying early on. Right now, that is a 70% disadvantage for the Ukrainians being on their last point.
Yeah, Uber comes out though. We've got Scout and Demo taking the brunt of this, but there is actually a back cap going on, but not going to be finding anything. Time 6 on the point right now, and that is a very quick and clinical cap for Belgium on this first round. So definitely putting on the pressure onto Ukraine. Ukraine needing to sort of find that aggression somewhere.
Just instant blitz round, opening up everything, and
oh yeah.
Ramo actually securing the second cap, because that back cap almost worked out, but Ramo was just there defending it like a champion. Boshi is straight off the first one to be on the mid. He's controlling Choke, and there's only Scout coming from Choke. There's nobody. Unfortunately, Boshi is too fast for the midpoint. Zero does go down though to a sticky trap, I think. The double reflect!
I didn't just saw that. That was a big reflect for that from Underscore. He's going to find Archer as well. Really well played by Underscore on this mid, and a huge reversal. Like I was saying before, that was definitely needed. Nice shot onto Dito. Not going to find the kill though from Spelly as he tries to run for his life. But importantly though, Aoshi does actually survive there, so going to be even Ubers for this last point, which was the not the case before.
What a U-turn, but right now we have to see how does Ukraine play this, because I'm almost guessing that there will probably be a lot of rounds in this game if it just goes constantly like that, or if it actually goes a bit down low. Marissa though getting shut there from a river, getting shut down essentially from Burst Limit, who assumed river position. Right now there's the Edgy on top, maybe he can get the soldier, he's onto him, no, getting red there. Not you, I do have headphones and I do hear, I do not listen to like Russian songs, you know, so I hear the footsteps of the spy.
Seems legit.
But there's right now Uber probably coming in. Boshi does die before the Uber, not so good, but they're probably going to assume their positions for the push out.
Yeah, Goblin getting really aggressive in river there, trying to find what he could. Somehow manages to live. Got a sort of dispenser in the meds on this one wall side for Belgium. No level 3 that I can actually see, so it's going to be sort of running mini still from Rambo, but going to be looking for these stat plays to possibly come in. Goblin getting aggressive onto Marissa, trying to deny that god shot from coming in onto Aoshi, but Z going for a stab, does manage to get the sniper. 3 down right now actually for Belgium.
Yeah, they've let some players there because they got a bit baited in river, and right now Ukraine flooding in from river. And there comes a big denial though from the Pyro, just Dito not getting any ground whatsoever. There was still some pressure onto the last, but Underscore is just completely reflecting everything by himself. It doesn't work out. The Dito is now coming in from the front, just completely trying to stick off the point, getting the damage, and Boshi is getting controlled by the Pyro on the last point. Boshi dies to a fully charged body shot. Everybody's still in from the balcony. Everybody dies away by the wayside. Look at this combo.
Zero and Sacrilege combining for a lot of damage there. They're all just stood in that one choke point, and Sacrilege doing the smart thing of rotating underwater to try and see if anyone was there, clear that out, and then come to kill the people in river. Also, that was smartly played by Aoshi there, because I think that Uber lasted like a lot longer for Aoshi since he managed to milk it. But yeah, going to be have Boshi just sort of spamming onto the point. Going to be an easy second cap though for Belgium as they work their way towards mid.
That's the madness you can see from, well, coordinated Highlander, and sometimes you cannot differentiate coordinated from uncoordinated Highlander, funnily, because when 9 players literally are involved in both Ubers, then it can get quite messy, even though if people have the comms and know where they should be. Right now there's only Edgy currently doing something, getting the teleporter down, big stuff from him onto the midpoint. They're both watching each other from different chokes. Burst Limit does get the opening sniper frag onto Marissa, and it's completely opening up the space for the Belgians onto the midpoint.
Yeah, Dito with a nice trap though, managed to take out 0. 3 down right now, no sniper, no demo. Nakara with nice damage onto Simrise. Simrise's almost dying there. Nice plays from Dito still. Dito's still wanting to stay in here. Doesn't want to give the sub and will get a headshot for his troubles. But Boshi coming in with an interesting buff banner play. Actually onto the, getting a sort of a semi-force out, but I actually needs to leave here, otherwise he's going to get caught out. There's so many people still alive for Ukraine. Marissa staring him down. Will he get the shot? No, won't get it as he's sat in big door, but yeah, Ukraine going to take this with 100%.
That was so amazing to see from Z's perspective. From the spy, he just wiggled about and was like, when does Boshi jump in? And then just all looked at Boshi, and then he was just easily walking in, getting a sniper frag, because they are using, like you can see there, they're using Boshi way better as a distraction. Edgy also dying there a bit on the side flank, so they do have one pick, and they have still 50% advantage. They have to watch out. Burst Limit is still peeking a bit aggressive in the choke, but they can brute force their way in here. They could have maybe even trapped them out when they tried to rotate through river. Not too eagerly aggressive though, and actually going to assume big door positions.
Ooh, nice snipe though from Burst Limit onto the demo. Nakara doesn't care though, walking in getting that sniper frag, but you know, combo from Belgium doing the smart thing and just backed up. Actually rotated to lobby. They managed to climb up onto the river, but Zero going to be dropping down though aggressively without his medic, taking some fire for his trouble. But Moviton's still not 100%, has not used this yet. Sacral is trying to aggro them in big door and pressure them out, but I think they're going to slowly but surely get this kill.
When long distance, close distance classes try to play long distance is basically how this fight can be boiled down to, just people shooting each other like from a million meters and nothing happening because they are not designed for that task. There's like both Ubers are up right now. They are staying in their big door, the Ukrainians, and they actually do get some picks. There comes this cheeky flank heavy though.
Another buff banner coming in from Boshi. Gonna get the force out as well. So Uber's gonna be exchanged here. Rambo's just sort of spamming his mini from the shutter area. Nice fight from Zero to kill Nakari there, and they're gonna be sort of kiting this back into lobby. So very long, drawn out second fight here as Belgium's still holding on to this.
Everybody's literally he's just standing there, he's just shooting like choke points, he's still getting pressured though. Dice right now. Almost was probably out of ammo just by the brute force of shooting bullets forward. Once again, equal Ubers, 1-0 up for Belgians. No time to breathe though, as only like 7 minutes have gone, but I feel like it has been an eternity because the action is just shifting very fast. Unfortunately, not really really decisive for the Ukrainians, as they're just poking and prodding once again and are scared of snipers and chokes.
Ooh, Marissa getting the best of burst limit though, and that V sniper through that really thin sightline in the choke. And I don't know whether the teams actually know the advantages here, but it's going to be very even Ubers for both teams as they sort of stalemate this out through the choke. Got some big rotation actually coming in through big door right now though for Ukraine as they bring in Nakari the scout and Dito on demo. Counter rotation comes in from Belgium though. Saku's going to be walking in, trying to get the kill onto the medic. Medic really out of position. Mobson going down. So much aggression coming in really quickly from Belgium, caught them off guard. And Ukraine going to be losing a lot of players.
Oh my god, 99% onto the Ukrainian medic there. Such a strong and clutch rotation, honestly, like from the Belgian. They both were on 97 when all of that action started. And then Ayoshi just got his and didn't even use it, got forced by the scout afterwards. But the Ukrainian medic on 99% and dying there, that is a bit heartbreaking, honestly. Boshi also dying there a bit by the wayside once again and probably just opening this point up. But Wiethoofd is still kind of contesting this.
Big bopping from Kim, trying to scare out Marissa as he managed to survive there. But Ukraine kind of ballsily coming in here. I'm not sure whether they should try and commit to this. Very uncoordinated pushing in here. Everybody will be getting caught out on heavy, but they're going to be sort of back at his front through choke, and Godmo taking a stick for his troubles. But Oshi on a slight advantage here, so they need to be careful they don't get caught out.
They need to, I feel like, exchange some more classes in. I feel like the Ukrainians just tried head-to-head, like, you know, like demo against demo and stuff, but they're getting a bit well, just kept at bay by Belgians, and that does favor their playstyle because they're still 1 round up. They kind of need to maybe interdisciplinary change out their classes a bit more. And the medic though just dies. Oh, the Uber comes in. Okay.
I didn't see that. Zero dropping the medic? He was on like 98%, so I don't know whether it was an actual drop, but Ayoshi getting very low down here. Underscore coming in, cleaning up some of that damage. Zero on top though, going to be spamming out the heavy. Very scrappy fight on the second point, and the demo going down, Pyro going down, heavy going down. With only 3 left up right now for Belgium, and Marissa getting a quick snipe onto the enemy sniper as well. So I don't know whether Ukraine's going to be trying to come into mid here.
Yeah, if that was the case, that was probably another just pinpoint push from the Belgians, but the scrappy DM fight after that probably favoring the Ukrainian team a bit more. They only have 10% disadvantage, doesn't really mean anything all that much in Highlander, and actually going to secure the midpoint. But it's just going back and forth all the time, you know, like no team is pushing like since the last 6 or 7 minutes the last point anymore, and that just helps the Belgians so much. So the Ukrainian team tried to just hock their sniper into big door before and just get the pressure in here, but Boshi is holding onto a Koch play, so let's see, he's using it. Maybe not. He's preparing it at least.
Oh yeah, you can blow the Buffman horn or whatever it is, but he actually uses it for sure. Trying to bomb in here. Doesn't manage to find the med. They're really passive right now, actually. Belgium in a decent position to try and kite that. I think they heard that. So Simrai sort of just sitting on top of this rock and ready to kite them out. But it's going to be even Ubers right now. Marissa staring down this choke, ready to sort of deny them from coming in here with the help of his heavy.
But do you really need to do a suicide play like that when you are almost at 100% both team?
I don't know, I mean, you think that you would just use that alongside the Uber, because then you'd have the mini crits with the Uber, just like with the rest of your team, but and then just use that to sort of fight that. But big stabs coming in from Z, actually managed to get Zero there, and It's 4 down for Ukraine, so despite that demo pick, not going to be finding much there. Solo Uber kind of coming out onto God mode from Aoshi there, but Ukraine is sort of very hesitant to go in here since they lost so many players previously.
Yeah, they were just looking and were waiting for their spy to get the pick and then completely surprised them, but the issue was their spy got 1 pick and then the Belgian spy, because the Ukrainian combo just looked at their spy, then Edgy came in and got 2 picks onto them, so actually getting fooled a bit there by spy on spy action. So once again, just complete Uber, equal Uber exchanges and Uber percentages rather, and I mean, this is 5 CP Highlander sometimes.
I've got a feeling that Belgium are actually kind of in a mindset of semi-parking the bus here, because I feel like they could have aggressed like a bit more than they have done, but you know, since they're 1-0 up, maybe they'll just be like, okay, let's just play this very conservatively, play this around our mid a lot, play around the Ubers. I mean, you got Rambo sort of with his wrangle mini on this high ground right now, not really looking to go anywhere with it. Just waiting for them to come in. We've got the traps above choke as well that's just been dead by Zero, but a lot of pressure coming in right now from Ukraine in this big door. Zero kind of alone here, gets caught out by the Heavy peak in that spot. A very strong spot for Heavy to go that, especially when Marissa gets a nice body shot onto the demo as well.
Trap them out, they only have a Pyro 40, they can kind of, you're getting forced nice. And now they have way better Uber, can probably trap them out. If Sacrilege has to pull a lot here. He gets the flash just in the nick of time on his Heavy. Going to chase here, Detour in the lobby. Doesn't have any support though. Completely gets munched there and mulch. And just dies in the end and probably going to equal out the flanks once again. So much potential, but like denied once again. Yoshi does die though to Boshi in the backlines.
Sakura's going really aggressive and Kem going to be trying to follow up, but finding a very full health Heavy, but it will go down. And Godmo with some very nice aggression. Gets 2 picks there. Will he find the mid? He'll be trying to duel it out in choke. Got the sniper coming in here. Gonna get saved though by Detour. Detour coming in with a big jump and the big sticks to deny choke there. So managing to save his medic's life as Ayoshi actually going down in the battlelands there again, which I didn't see.
Yeah, like Detour is just, no, we're not giving this map up. You go off my medic and we push right now. I can see it fiercely in his eyes. He's pressuring so much, but I feel like the team is sometimes not on the same wavelengths, just needs to support the demo more. Z's in through the drop down, maybe tries to do something. It is only Cinerize right now staying in the choke. I think they are aware of this big Uber disadvantage because they are staying passively into their choke. Nakari also dies, so flank class is dying before a potential Uber advantage push. Not so good.
Oh, Samurai's probably going to get caught up there by Detoed, managing to get that kill in the end, but the rest of Belgium could be sort of very passive in this choke, waiting to stick them out with the help of Zero. But, I mean, you know, ultimately that Uber's never going to achieve that much, it's going to get mid for them. But, I mean, they get 4 picks in the meantime, so I don't know if that'll kind of be the momentum they need to push into second.
Well, look at Detoed, he wants to. He just completely wants to. There's a sticky trap.
Yeah, he's tired of waiting, he's tired.
Oh god, I don't know if they know about the sticky trap that is still on above them in choke. They're getting a lot of pressure here onto actually forcing a Yoshi. The sticky trap does get diffused, not achieving anything, but there comes the Uber onto a scout. Probably will not get anything vital.
Yeah, interesting force by Yoshi. I mean, he gets piped once, maybe a bit scared if he would get piped again, so I guess that's fair enough. But the big rotation coming in from Big Door here. Nice trap from Dito to kind of deny the shutter there.
Are they behind them?
They're trying to push into mid. What is going on here?
They're behind them, they rotated through Big Door and they're actually behind them, they have to watch out. Big arrow there onto Zero, just saves him completely. There's a scout though, close, point blank, and there's a spy actually coming in. The saw comes out, he has Uber, he's alone onto the last point, no, with a Heavy onto balcony. What a complete mess that is. Rushing onto the last point with a Heavy. There's a spy, but they're not going to get
way.
No. So
they get back capped. That was actually really close to working as well, but that's the problem you see if you split up your team and you've got some people like not being able to actually defend that point. I like how everybody will be like still here for a few seconds, not realizing you can't cap it, but you be sort of going back into water. Like there are people everywhere, but there's only 4 up right now for Belgium. But Simraz and Aoshi played this really well to actually stay together here and you know having that synergy of the combo, but we'll be sort of just holding this back on last and not throwing the game.
They need to do these kind of plays more. I always was really ready to chastise them a lot, but in the end it actually worked out for the Belgians, even though it was more clutch than I actually thought it would be, because I was not agreeing with this kind of play stance from the Ukrainians, but then again, I'm not Ukrainian nor Russian, so I don't really have the insights onto these aggressive play stances. Burst limit does get fully charged.
The big stick trap from Dito, that's sloppy play from Belgium. You should always expect the sticks above the door when he's pushing out of those shitters, ladies and gentlemen, because that will happen, and they'll get your pushes to completely destroy Dito. Still alive and well though in this river area, trying to push in here. They don't quite have Uber yet. Marissa getting some nice headshots out, but there isn't enough pressure here for them to really take last just yet as the spawns come back in for Belgium.
Yeah, they do have their spawns, they only have 30% advantage. This sticky trap definitely surprising them a lot, destroying their team, also destroying a bit more voice, because it just completely catching me off guard, but they get the pick there. Sinra is peeking a bit aggressive, wants to get a Tomislav counterplay onto the enemy sniper, a bit disrespect maybe. The sniper doesn't know this now, though Burst Limit watching River. They still have the slide and let's see, they're probably wanting to push Marissa going down.
Burst Limit being very aggressive here, he's gonna get caught up I think, but nice sort of bit of a juggle there from Rambo, trying to deny them coming in, but the heavy
Everybody
on full health, gonna come in here, gonna try and kill everyone, but Samurai is back in on the point, still on decent health, turns around, getting to find out Z, bit of a clutch play right there from the defense, but the buff banner comes in, can Boshi do this solo, doesn't manage to find the rockets, scout and soldier versus the soldier alone. Oh no, Kem's gonna pick that one up, so a bit of a clutch defense from Belgium right there, but yeah, very close.
He was 2v1, but they can contest this now from Big Door. This is sometimes what can happen. I don't know if the Belgians will get so much eagerly cocky here and try to push onto the second, probably not, especially not if they lose their sniper. There was maybe a chance, but they didn't push out, because then you can just slay them with your fast respawns from Big Door, but did not happen. Still 20 to 30% almost advantage for the Ukrainian team. They still have a slight bit of cap time, maybe the spike can reset it a bit. There's nobody exactly standing onto the point, so can get maybe a bit of cheeky cap time because the Uber is not yet up, but I do think they will just keep their full contingent of players together and then push in once again.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if Ukraine actually managed to push in around the banners coming out from Boshi, because I mean he manages to build them up decently enough, they might actually be able to get that aggression that they need in that damage they need, but coming from main, what's going on here?
They're coming from main and they expected them to come through river, but they were denied just on the doorstep there. Let's see what we can make out of this scrappy point, but the medic is completely left alone. There's a lot of damage though coming onto the last, but let's see, Boshi is still. Boshi's DMing heavy, he's only 50 HP. When he wins that fight, is probably going to fail them as the Ukrainians just swarm onto that point, completely equalizing the score and just catching the Belgians off guard that predicted the Uber to come from river.
Yeah, that was decent pacing to be fair, because Uber came in and then they did the initial damage, but then like, I didn't think they would get that, because Rambo's mini was behind them just shooting for so long, and they were getting so weak from it. But yeah, in the end, managing to cap that out with people not being able to protect the point. But here we go onto this third mid now, with 20 minutes in. Boshi getting some decent pick onto Zero, actually, at the start, and gets God mode as well. So, 3 down, including the medic. Oh, Domaytoe, what happens?
How does he die to that? Like, where are the stickies coming from? They are completely, I think, hype up right now. The Ukrainians, it's nail-bitingly close, and I think Belgium is a bit sweating for its points and for its placement, more importantly, because when the Ukraine does win this map, they will get the second seed and advance into the playoff stage, and the Belgians will be out. There comes a close-range headshot. Holy heck. Snap accusations video is where you put that not into a casted game.
You got Marissa just sort of sitting in there trying to find out the sniper of burst limit, but Rambo again with his typical shutter mini trying to wrangle that in. But I mean, combo's coming in from Big Door right now for Ukraine as they actually have a decent advantage, but they need to be sort of a bit quicker with this. Don't want to try and catch them out. But interesting seeing like 4 people appear without the med in this sort of river area waiting for them to come in.
I mean, they do have the superior positions there. They will at least get the force, I do think. They are planning on doing that. Yeah, Wiethoofd does get force low. They're probably going to use the sniper. The sniper's just jumping.
Oh my god.
Actually does get cleaned up. They do get some frags. There's still the Spine killing God Mode and actually, Nakari, and slowing the push down a bit. So that actually means that Yoshi does have full Uber and they have spawns in 5 seconds. So no instant push. And probably, Bug, I don't know if that's so much prediction, going to park the bus in Big Door. Maybe.
Nah, well, neither team can park the bus anymore as it does 1-1, but, you know, the aggression I was talking about that Ukraine needed is definitely coming out now. They've suddenly realized, like, how much is on the line for their team here in this Nations Cup game, but got the Uber coming out right now. It's been mainly started onto God mode, actually. Zero with a big bomb, managed to find underscore there as well, but Mobiton going to be trying to run out. God mode is still on the run, though. He'll be chasing down Mobiton. Will he get this pick? Does manage to find that as well. Can he 1v1 the NG as well? Tries to go for the health back in the back lines, but yeah, Godmo doing a lot of work for Belgium right there, so that might be the momentum they need.
Everybody getting wiped out there. That was maybe the important fight there won for the Belgians, also to give them the motivation back once again, because the Ukrainians were just not out fast enough. Then snipe though, just from Marissa peeking aggressively through Big Door.
Yeah, IOC trusting his team to sort of cover that sideline, but nevertheless, Marissa with a really nice snipe onto IOC there, headshot nevertheless as well. But Sakal is trying to like cap out this point, does manage to get it, so we'll delay Ukraine slightly, but only 2 up right now. IOC actually in the forward spawn, Rambo the only one left alive as a combat class, but yeah, it's sort of, IOC needs to be careful he doesn't get sniped here, probably wait for the spawners to come in.
They actually do take the forwards, but I don't know if that's so much of a misplay because they're still into the big door side. Dito is not close though to get all the damage in. Z does get caught out there on the backlines. He's causing a lot of distraction though, and Marissa also gets stepped down, so the flanks are equalizing and they still have the 40% advantage onto Ukraine.
You need to be careful standing here. Like, I'm surprised Ukraine aren't being more aggressive with this, considering like their advantage, and also like managing to pick off Simrise there with the help of Nakari. But Boshy's trying to make a bit of a distraction right now for Kim in this choke area. But we've got sort of Burst Limit or Spilly walking his way up onto this high ground on the second point. So hopefully they'll be trying to look for defending second here. But the Boshy and Dito bomb comes in at the same time to try and make some space here. But see how they play this.
I think actually there will be no golden cap, so I think this will count as a tie if it goes to 1-1, and that means that Belgians will be probably advancing then, but there comes big jump from KritzKast, so completely denying that. But the force comes out. So easy force, not easy, but force for the Belgians, and they still do have this point and the Ubers, but probably, they actually want to exchange this.
Moviton? Interesting positioning. Dito, I mean not Dito, Zero sort of whiffing some pipes, but it's going down eventually.
They are hiding on top.
They're all on top. Pipes come out though, decent pipes coming from Zero actually, gets down because everybody loves me, but Ayoshi going down in the meantime. Bit of a scrappy fire in a second, you got all the Belgian players on the low ground with the Ukraine on the high ground, Demo's coming in, Soldier's coming in, Soldier gets some sniper pick in the meantime as well, but they still haven't killed this Mini, Ihor Mini's still in there, but doesn't eventually go down, but wow, what a play from Belgium to peak that shot.
Yeah, and also a really cheeky play from the Ukraine. Actually bought a decent amount of time because it means that they probably have positions to fight this midpoint a bit at least. There comes a lot of pressure though onto Boshy, who was the only one peeking aggressive God mode, just completely hitting his shots there. Zero dying though, cratering somewhere, so Belgians without a demo man, they still do have this slight Uber advantage. God mode getting completely flocked off the ground there, and there comes a buff banner or something, or once again from the front flank. Sinris is still close here, they don't even have Uber yet, they're still pressuring this. There's a sniper close here as well, they're trying to brute force this in.
Oh no, Ayoshi drops his heavy though, Ayoshi on 100% with no one left to use on, and he goes in for the force, Boshy does, but Ayoshi gonna get caught out here. This is a terrible Uber right now for Belgium, and like not really in the ideal position that they wanted to be, but as long as Ukraine keep their medic alive, they're gonna be looking very nice to go into last here.
A sniper on river.
Oh
good
god.
Night. Good night, Boshy. So they are waiting for their Uber, but they will not get their Uber until the Ukrainian team will push, because they still have the 60% advantage. They just, now it shines if they have the practice to actually get their coordinated push onto the last point, because I feel like they're a bit too passive there. Are they controlling, or do they want to try to get a pick, because they're kind of wasting a 70% advantage. This is this pick though onto Demo, so now comes the push.
Yeah, they need to go really quick with this. 80% on the Yoshi. This is potential build as well. Godmo's been doing a really good job of actually building with the Yoshi there, but pressure onto the point. Nakari getting a lot of cap time, and that will be the third round. Sorry, third round in total. Second round going to Ukraine with Nakari just getting so much cap time there. None of the Belgian focus to try and deny that. So, you know, reversing this pressure, like I was mentioning before on the product, actually Ukraine is right now. So, yeah, they could potentially claw this back. I don't know.
What a well-oiled push that was, just everybody meaty big bodies blocking the point for the Belgians to actually go on, and then just a quick little scout capping it instantly, because caps really fast. There comes a big soldier showdown though onto the Belgian side of the choke. Nobody does die though. Zero getting piped by the Iron Bomber. Double piped actually onto the Sinrise. Dito putting the pressure onto the game. Edgy though, equalizing the stakes a bit.
Yeah, like, they tried to go for that aggressive mid again onto the enemy side, but just did not work out. But in the meantime, God Mode almost gets the mid there. Nice defense from Dito, and everybody loves me there to not kill Moulton, and also some decent movement from himself. But I actually managed to get out there, importantly. So, yeah, going to be sort of evening up the Ubers here, so possibly contesting second.
It's 5 minutes now. Ukraine don't need to push. They are up 1 point, so now it's important.
Yep.
Do they want to push? Do they want to park the bus? Ihor does get a bit cheeky there, a bit aggressive, and maybe says, well, we are Ukrainians, we won't park the bus, because there's so much pressure here coming in from Victor right now, actually bleeding that heavy forward, and Marissa getting stabbed as well. They're probably going to get caught up here on the slow round.
Yeah, Belgium needs to try and find his aggression in return as well, but Uber comes out onto Domaytoe, but then Aoshi again Ubering Zero in the meantime as well. But I mean, Sakura is trying to run up into this banana area and got Moberton sort of passively Nakari and Domaytoe, but they've got this high ground. Loads of players for Belgium though, but 2 of them going down and lots of damage coming out from Domaytoe, doing a really good job of just trying to spam them out as much as possible. And yeah, got Ihor's mini sort of trying to defend the point as well, but I think they will give this up for now.
Also, good rear protection from Sacrilege, just saying not only Karma bounces back, also your rocket, because he has Boshi figured out a bit now and actually denies a lot of bombs. Z does get caught out there from God mode, so no spy picks coming in. They're still trying to fight this a bit. They still have a slight advantage here, the Belgians, and are probably going to eagerly be aggressive and brave enough to probably push into this, because they had success when we mentioned and did that before. But Marissa does get stepped down. They have to watch out for the little sticky trap, but they're probably going to find great success if they just push in with this pinpoint push, but they're losing some players. They're actually rotating to Victor.
Yeah, this is the combo from Ukraine has actually rotated. Yeah, if they're really quick with this, they can probably do it. But this mini is just giving them trouble. Like Underscore doing a really good job of trying to deflect the projectiles coming onto this mini, but it does eventually go down. Everybody loves me still doing a small thing of staying in this choke, making sure someone is watching for those flank players. They probably clean up the engine here as well, and he does. So you know, Belgium possibly rushing in here, losing 3 before they even come in here. Simra's going down. Ubers get exchanged onto the scout and the demo, but you know, Ukraine playing this really smart, kiting this back into the shuttle, waiting for the Belgian players to come in and bait them in. So. Yeah, really well played by Ukraine right now.
I think the Belgians did not have the intelligence that they were the intel that the team was right around the corner, because then they probably would have not rotated to big door. Because right now it just enabled them to like lose players off charge somewhere, and that actually the after fight though sees them coming in, making a fool out of my words just with a repush, actually claiming the ground. It is equal Ubers. Both teams have their vital players up, and it is 2 minutes down the wire.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to this last push. However, the one thing they wanted, like an Uber advantage, they are not really going to have, since Moberton's building at pretty much the same pace. So he's going to be sitting in the spawn as well, just waiting for him to come in. But I feel like I should probably get like level 3s, and he has done. So he's getting this level 3 set up, ready for him to come in. Going to be sort of just parking the bus here, and with Ajay going down as well, with the lack of intel as to where they're going to be holding, it's going to be hard for them to try and get any forces here.
Well, viewers, this is just how close a game can get. Like, they need to cap this now, the Belgians, or otherwise the Ukraine will just instantly be into the playoff stage and the Belgians will be out. It is 1.5 minutes, there is one last Uber push and then maybe a dry push if they don't lose too many players. They're just eagerly just poking and prodding and watching their positions just getting eked out. There's a level 3 sentry right now from Ihor on top right. There's a backhand by Z. I don't know if that is so much of a distraction. We'll have to see. He's actually forcing some players back, and we have to watch forward. There's still no fight just coming in. There's only little cap time, and they are losing some players.
Domaytoe goes down though, that's important. Domaytoe actually on 3 doms right now, and he's a really key player for Ukraine to try and spam them out here. Decent spam onto the sentry. Uber gets forced out though. We'll get this sentry, but I mean, you know, this backup's actually coming in still from Z, I think.
He will get that.
I think he... Wow. Wow, absolute mad play from Z right there to try and get that back cap, as there's only 50 seconds left right now. Loads of players down for Belgium, so as long as they don't give up this back cap of this last point, I think Ukraine going to be looking pretty well here.
I think it's probably going to be crucially denying them. God mode was almost getting the cap as well. It's so nail-bitingly close. They won't build this Uber in time probably, or it's actually going to be built, but then they don't have so much time to actually make it work, so they have to go right now. There's a mini getting planted into the main area. Ramo is trying to DM everything. There's Spy to the last cap, actually forcing some distraction, edgy getting piped there, and then trying to go in, but Domaytoe just reading the aggression.
Yeah, very nice trap, but I mean, still, we've got players coming in from River here. Still a lot of players up for Ukraine, but there's a lot of pressure on the point. Try and get it in now. Everyone's just on the point right now, but importantly, you've got a Pyro on there, able to reflect. 7 seconds left. Just going to trying to heal the Pyro. And yeah, unfortunately, the Belgian aggression not finding anything there in that last few seconds. And Ukraine will be taking that map, and that is going to be a GG from them.
And that will be the... if I don't have done the calculations incorrectly, but I don't think it was, but this is a very, very deserved just placement spot in the playoff stage for the Ukrainian team. I think just putting them with 5 points. Is that 5 points or 4 points?
I think so, yeah.
I don't think it matters either way. Because
like more, 5 points more, I think.
With 4 points, they are tying though with Belgium onto the tables, and they are actually losing in the head-to-head. So they are going into the playoffs, and Belgians have to wave goodbye. Definitely showing their best though. Like there is, I don't think so many games that get closer than that one.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell from the way these teams were playing, like for about 10 minutes of that, when they were just kind of tippy-toeing around the second point, like the stalemates from Choke, the stalemates from Big Door, constant back and forth was really just testament as to how close this fight was between these two teams. You know, like I was saying before, you got like Premiership tier gamers from both sides, and they definitely shown that here today on this kind of very aggressive style map. But yeah, ultimately it's going to be Ukraine sort of winning that out with sort of the reversed aggression, finding that in the end. Maybe they just needed product for a bit of a warm-up, and they've managed to find it on Gullywash. So really well played to them, and commiserations to Belgium there.
I think they also needed to find their aggressive play stance and just start to maybe sweat a bit and have pressure, because under pressure, diamonds and maybe also placement spots are formed, but we'll have to show you on we have to, well, maybe from my perspective we have to, but you're getting the final logs shown onto the screen right now. It is on Gullywash. We have God mode topping the charts. There is a Sixes Scout class, basically, where Sixes class genuine won the Scout class, just topping the charts. Difficult pronunciation in English, man. 35 frags onto him and only 19 deaths, making a 1.8 KD. Pretty good stuff from him. After that, though, instantly detoed with 31, and more importantly, sometimes on demo, the deaths. Only 16 deaths, it's 1.9 KD. It's really good KD, and let's see the damage per minute also completely unparalleled with almost 500 damage per minute, just showing how the prodigy and just the front runner of the Ukrainians he was.
Yeah, Nakari and Dito doing really well for Ukraine there, but, you know, shout out to God Mode and also Burst Limit doing pretty well in return for Belgium. But I think ultimately, you know, halfway through that game, it was just like something just clicked with Ukraine. They were like, yeah, okay, this is our plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take this aggression forwards and just end up winning it out. So, yeah, ultimately this is going to be them. But in the other games, I'm hearing that USA have beaten Greece. So we've got Poland versus Lithuania tomorrow, so that's another contested second spot in their particular group. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and thank you for our sponsors again, Manco.store. But I think we will wrap it up there after that very intense, close game. So thank you all for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe and follow button if you want to support us more, and be on the lookout for more content. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. I've been Buck, and today with me has been Wiethoofd on production and good old Domaytoe on the KritzKast. But we will see you around next time. Goodbye.
Manco Store, the no-nonsense cash market for TF2.